Are you sick and tired of feeling like the way that you dress, the way that you speak, the way that you express yourself is being silently and subconsciously dictated to you and stifled by external influences, by culture, by conditioning, by societal acceptable standards and norms? Have you wanted to dye your hair bright green or pink your whole life, but you're terrified of how people will look at you when you walk down the street? Do you want to identify a certain way, but you're worried about being ostracized or ridiculed? Do you feel like you are constantly dimming your light, dimming your authentic expression in order to fit in with those around you? Well, you're in the right place, because I'm so excited to introduce to you the brand new mini course, Feeling Triple F AF, Fantastical, Foxy and Fabulous as F. There was lots and lots of swearing and cursing in my last mini course, so I'm going to keep this one clean and clear and PG. Although there's nothing wrong with cursing if that is a part of your own authentic expression, but I'm just going to keep it a little bit more respectful today, because for me it's not necessarily about the language. This is more about an embodiment, creative expression, what makes you feel fantastical and foxy and fabulous. So I'm so excited, and I thought, I haven't worn my green lipstick in a while, so I thought this was the perfect occasion to wear my green lipstick. And this does not mean that you have to start dressing like me or start wearing weird green lipstick. This is just like the part of me that wants to be expressed, this weird person, so that when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, look at that mermaid, fairy, shiny, like I am a sparkly biatch right now, and I love it. And that is me feeling triple F AF. And some days I don't feel like this. Some days I feel triple F AF when I am just like in full on gremlin mode, no makeup, comfy clothes, eating my food, but I'm still feeling fantastic and foxy and fabulous as F on those days. And that's what this mini course is all about. It's all about, well, actually it's all about love. But we're going to take like a totally new, hopefully for some of you, a new perspective on love, and really expanding our frequency range of understanding of what love is and what love means, because it's really multidimensional. The different expressions and the different experiences of love. We're going to be exploring that in its entirety, because in order to feel really fantastical and let our freak flag fly freely and not care or not be scared or hold on to fear or shame around how we may be perceived in the world, it all comes down to love. How much are you loving yourself? How much are you able to love yourself? How deep can you go with the pouring in of the self-love juice, so that you can literally just let your heart open and shine? I think I wrote somewhere here, yeah, I believe that authenticity is an expression of love. We cannot express ourselves freely if there are places of shame and guilt and fear and lack and shame and judgment, all of these emotions. So the more we can pour love into ourselves. Like, love is the remedy. Love is the remedy. And it's so much deeper than, you know, me showing up in green lipstick. That doesn't mean anything. That's just like a bit of fun for me. But the ability to show up and share our voice and share our opinion and really get past that persecution wound. It's really what I feel we need in the world right now. More of us finding that courage within us to speak fiercely and freely in the world and stand up for love and stand up for our fellow humans and come together in that way. Because courage is an emotion of the heart. A lot of people think that it might be like the navel or fire, but courage comes from the heart. To be truly courageous, it takes a lot of deep, deep, deep love. So I'm really excited for this mini course. If you're not aware already, the previous mini course was called Becoming Unfuckwithable. So that course was very deep, and it was a lot more about like breaking down walls and barriers and defense mechanisms that we place around ourselves so that we can actually start creating this really like fluid sense of confidence within ourselves. But it was a lot of shadow work and a lot of quite confronting self-reflection and rebuilding ourselves from the inside. So I wanted to create this mini course as a follow-on from that, and almost like an antidote after that, because now this one is all about like, okay, I've done some of the shadow work, like I've had those uncomfortable, honest conversations with myself. Now I'm ready to pour love into myself and then pour that loving expression back out into the world. So that is what feeling triple FAF is all about. Freeing that beautiful, authentic expression that you're only going to find in your own heart by pouring love in there. So it's a mini course to help ignite self-expression, self-love, and embodiment. So it's this bringing this beautiful balance after we've done the introspection and the inner work and the inner journeying, and taking some of that lessons and then actually embodying that and expressing that, because there is a trap that one can fall into. Anyone who's on a journey, whether they consider it to be spiritual, I believe all beings are spiritual, by the way, whether they choose to acknowledge it or not. Whether it be a spiritual journey, a personal growth journey, a magic journey, whatever it may be, there is this trap that we can fall into where we get addicted to knowledge and we feel that just knowing is enough. But actually that's not wisdom, that's just knowledge, and it can get really stuck in the head, and then we can want to like tell other people all these things and share all these wisdoms, but actually we need to start practicing what we preach and embodying that knowledge. Otherwise it's empty. People are not stupid, right? Humans are incredibly intelligent, just like amazing, energetically advanced beings we are. So we know if someone is genuine or not. It's like our intuition is so strong, we'll know immediately. But people who are very good at gathering knowledge are often very good at talking a lot. So it's always wonderful to just take a look at people's energy, people's actions, because that's what embodiment is. It's all well and good learning and receiving knowledge, but it's not actually embodied wisdom or embodied spirituality until we start becoming it. And that is where the self-reflection comes in, and that part is so important. So if you have done the first 2 mini courses and you're here on the 3rd one, amazing. I congratulate you. Well done. This mini course is going to be a lot more fun than the first 2. I mean, the weaving magic was fun. But this one is going to be really fun, light-hearted. There is going to be an educational workshop, but most of it is going to be just like playing and expressing and expanding the heart. And I really love that I'm doing this in August because here in the UK, hello from Oxfordshire in the UK, it's like the height of summertime, like everyone is on summer break, school holidays, so it's just like that real vibrant, expressive, outward energy. So I'm so happy to be celebrating this with you. And this is a mini course for members. I have a YouTube membership called the Mystic Elves, and every single month I release a 4-part mini course for members. It's a very small amount, it's less than £4 Great British pounds per month. We also have a monthly members live stream where we come together and I hold a little ritual and a ceremony for whatever is going on energetically or collectively, and we come together and I offer oracle readings for the group, the small group, and it's growing. It's actually, the membership group is growing really quickly. I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, if you'd like to join, I will drop the link in the comments and also on the video here as well. So I've made some notes because for these mini courses, you know, I take it seriously. I make notes to make sure that I'm really getting all the info into them that I want. Yeah, so when I was planning this mini course, I was thinking back to when a time in my life, like when I really felt triple FAF. And I'm like, yeah, thinking back when I was a teenager, like I was cool as fuck. I was rebellious. I was cutting my hair, shaving my hair, dyeing it all the colours. I had all the piercings. Now this is the way I like to express myself, by the way. This is what I think is cool as fuck. You might think something completely different is cool as fuck, okay? I'm just expressing my truth. The art that I was creating as a teenager was so cool. Like the clothes I was wearing, like I would customize my clothes and yeah, just go to like vintage stores and rip things up, and I was just like a living artistic expression, and I just didn't give a crap about anything or anyone. And I do remember that changing when I got to like 17, 18 and hanging around with different crowds and feeling like, oh, I should be more like, try and be more pretty now, or try and be more sexy, you know. And what happens when we do that? Well, it's the intention, right? The intention was I'm trying to look more pretty and trying to look more sexy. So that attracted the wrong attention to me. Like I wanted to be cool as fuck. I wanted to be the cool girl that everyone wanted to be friends with. I didn't want to be the one who was just seen as like a good looking person and that's it, with no depth behind them. So it's really interesting when we think of like the psychology behind this, because in reality, and I wholeheartedly believe this, we are at our most sexiest and desirable when we are expressing ourselves authentically, because otherwise we're just putting ourselves into a box, and that doesn't make us feel good. It doesn't make us feel good. The best I've ever felt, which is pretty much where I am now, I would say, like where I am now and when I was a teenager, the best I felt, the coolest I felt, more confident I felt, is when I'm expressing myself authentically. And this does not mean that I have to identify a certain way. Please feel free to identify as whatever you like. I think it's awesome when we own our identity. But for me, you know, it's like, no, I don't identify as a goth. I don't identify as alternative. If anything, like I just identify as like a forest creature or like mystical as fuck. But it's like, for me, or maybe I just identify as a creative person. I like to express myself in alignment or in parallel with how I'm feeling at a certain time, you know. So oftentimes, yeah, sure, you will see me wearing black, and that is my kind of style. It's my happy place, my comfort zone. But sometimes I love getting my feminine on. Sometimes I love like dressing up as a fairy or an elf. Sometimes I like wearing a shirt and like being in my like smart, sexy secretary era. And for me, being a shapeshifter makes me feel triple FAF. So this is all about finding what feels awesome for you. And, you know, as much as it is about expressing through how you identify and how you choose to dress, it's also being really comfortable in your own skin. So, you know, there's two ends of it here, as there is with everything. There's feeling comfortable in wearing that crazy bold makeup that makes your inner child like dance for joy. But then it's also feeling totally comfortable in your own skin so that you can be around people fresh-faced, no makeup, just wearing like your lounge wear and feeling awesome, because you know that your authenticity is shining through from your heart. And you know, there's time and place for everything, and just understanding like that's being a human, and we are multidimensional, and we do have cycles, and we feel different from time to time. So it's, again, it all comes back to loving ourselves so deeply that we truly, well and truly feel comfortable in our own skin. No matter if you identify as a shapeshifter like me and someone who really enjoys dressing up and changing and surprising people, or if you're someone who just wants to strip it all back and get really comfortable with your raw, simple, authentic truth and find beauty in that. You know, for some of us, we might not even be comfortable like looking at ourselves in the mirror when we wake up in the morning, you know, and it's equally about that as it is being comfortable with getting really dressed up to the nines and going out and just being like, yeah, got my swag on. It's everything here, so everyone's welcome. Yeah, so I'm dedicating this mini course to teenage Chloe, because I want her to look at me now and think, yes, I'm still a badass. I'm still a badass, but I'm just like a little bit more calm and wise, and my nervous system is happy. Yeah. So these mini courses, as I mentioned, are in 4 parts. So we've got the intro today, which is part 1. So part 2, which I call class number 1, this is going to be what I call like a masterclass or a mini masterclass. So this is, yeah, it's going to be me speaking a lot, but I invite you to explore with me together. So I always say for these mini masterclasses, you know, bring your notes, just get ready to like get involved and interact with it. So it's called Speaking the Languages of Love. Speaking the Languages of Love masterclass. This is going to be super fun for me as well, because we're exploring the multidimensionality of love, the languages of love. And what's beautiful about this is like we are going to be looking at this and exploring this through the lens of self-love and how we treat ourselves and pour into ourselves. But the beauty of that is that a side effect is it's going to reflect all of your other relationships around you, which is awesome. You know, we pour into ourselves and it automatically, like with no effort, minimal effort, you will feel and experience a different in your relationships. A bit of effort, you'll see huge growth in your relationships around you. So in class 1, in Speaking the Languages of Love, we're going to be exploring the 8 Greek types of love. So I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I say this and it's the right thing. if you know me, I can tend to go off on tangents, so this helps me. The 8 Greek types of love, which really shows us the multidimensionality of love. There's 8 different types of love, and that's only according to the ancient Greeks. Nowadays there could be even more. And why have I chosen this for this mini course? Well, when I think of ancient Greece, it just fills me with this like sexy romantic feeling of like gods and goddesses and temples and philosophy and poetry and amazing art. I love ancient Greece, by the way. I'm like a total ancient history and philosophy, spirituality nerd. And ancient Greek, Greece is just like the most beautiful country, and that's why I chose it. When I think of it, to me that is like that fantastical, foxy, fabulous, just that ancient Greek feeling where they're expressing through philosophy and art and poetry and like goddess worship and all the things. You can tell how excited I am. So yeah, we're going to be exploring the 8 Greek types of love, and this is going to help us to understand love so much more and understand the type of love that we need as an individual in order to help us feel encouraged and inspired and safe to express ourselves freely and authentically. And these cover like passionate love, deep friendship loves, unconditional love, self-love, family love, obsessive love. It's going to be a really cool and really fun topic to dive into. And it will also, beyond that, help us to reflect upon perhaps some of the core relationships that we have around us, and if that is affecting us and holding us back from really feeling fantastical and foxy and fabulous. What we're also going to dive into in the Speaking the Languages of Love masterclass is the 5 main love languages. And I really like talking about these. I mean, they've become a bit of a sort of like a dating show commodity, like, oh, what's your love language? But I do believe that they're important. And when we learn our own love languages, we can then start having this beautiful, romantic relationship with ourselves. And that's different from like looking in the mirror and just being like, you're awesome, you're beautiful, I love you. That's amazing. That's like hype woman, best friend love. But when you can have this like romantic, kind of sexy, devotional, loving relationship with yourself, that's when things start to get like foxy and sensual, and our sensual energy is our creativity and our creative expression, so it can really help to ignite that. So if your love language is receiving gifts, you can start buying yourself gifts as though it were a romantic partner. And this is like something that I do, and it works. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm excited to explore those, and it's going to obviously go so much deeper, and I feel like so much is going to unfold around love. And I'm going to make sure that there are practices in there that we can do to really embody love and pour self-love into ourselves. So that's exciting. So that's going to be class 1, video 2. Video 3, class number 2, is going to be called Celebrating Self-Expression. Okay, and this is something that I've never done before on my channel, so I'm really excited about this. This is going to be like an interactive class and dress-up session. So I'm going to get out like my wackiest makeup, just some really fun outfits and accessories, and I'm just going to be literally creatively expressing art and colour on my face as a reflection of how I'm feeling. and dressing myself up in real time with you. So I'm going to be showing you my creative process of how I would do this, and like encouraging you as well. And it doesn't matter if you are female, male, or otherwise, however you identify, like please don't skip this class, because you can even just get face paints and draw stripes and shapes on you. It's not gonna be like something kind of pretty like this. It's gonna be expressive. We're gonna go a bit wild with that expressing and just having fun with it. It's all about breaking perfectionism and breaking the mold, breaking through that acceptable way of presenting ourselves. So I'm so excited for that. I have no idea how it's going to work as a video, but that's a fun part of the creative process. It's going to be a bit messy, and I'm not, okay, I will promise you this now, I am not going to plan the outcome of that video. So I'm not going to plan like the makeup look that I'm going to do. I'm not going to plan anything. I'm going to just 100% freestyle it and improvise it on the day when I film that class. That's my promise. You can hold me to that. That'll be super fun, and it'll just create this safe space for us to just express freely for the sake of it, for the sake of having fun. I think that's an issue with a lot of this, like when, especially for me as a woman, like I've been in relationships and situations that have really knocked back my confidence and have felt like I'm too much and that I need to mute myself or numb myself and be more digestible, and that's tough. And that made me think like, oh, I don't even want to wear makeup anymore. I don't really want to stand out in the crowd. And it's like, why not? Why not stand out in the crowd? Why not be that person that walks down the street and people are like, you are so freaking cool. You are cool. Yes, that's going to be fun. And also there's something really devotional in terms of self-love when we get dressed up for the sake of it. Like, because I have so much fun getting dressed up for my YouTube channel, and I could easily not. So, don't get me wrong, some days if it's like a Sunday, I won't wear any makeup, and that's beautiful too. But I have so much fun getting dressed up for my videos, and it's like, I'm actually doing that for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else. And that's what class 2 is going to be all about, is going to be like dressing for yourself and expressing for yourself and just having so much fun with it. A bit of silliness, a bit of play. Okay, and then video 4, which will be class 3, is going to be triple FAF embodiment. We're going to be exploring the body as a tool for self-expression. So in the last 2 mini courses, the final class has been a really deep inward journey. Remember I said a lot of the work has been inward. This is going to be an outward journey of expression and finding movements and breath and sound that feel good for you. This is all about you as an individual and your authentic expression, and finding if something makes you feel foxy or fabulous or fantastical, finding those movements, and then you get to use them in your triple FAF toolkit. And you can wake up in the morning and do whatever that movement is that makes you feel like a badass. So it's all about what feels good for you. And we are going to be exploring a little bit of like embodying certain archetypes. What did I put? Expressing and embodying archetypes with our body. So for example, it could be like a specific god or a goddess, and we can be like, okay, how would that god or goddess stand and present themselves? Like the goddess of love, what would she look like and how would she move? We're going to be doing a little bit of that kind of embodiment as well. It's going to be fun and playful. I haven't planned any of these yet, so I'm super excited. Each video gets released once a week, so it's the 4 weeks over the month. So class 1 will be same time next week, on Thursday next week. Yeah, so I'm super excited for this one. If you've made it this far, let me know how you feel about this mini course in the comments. Drop it in the comments. If you have any requests that you like for future mini courses as well, feel free to drop that in the comments. If you have any questions about the Mystic Elves membership, how to join, what is involved, what's included, again, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I always read every comment. I like every comment. I reply, do my absolute best to reply to every comment, because community is everything to me, and actually like listening to you and receiving how you're feeling is also really important to me. So yeah, I will see you again this time next week for class 1, learning the languages of love.